Hello everyone, Ethan Cohen for Hotspawn, and I am joined by Mikyx after Fnatic's wins over Team Heretics in week 1. So first, how are you feeling with this unexpectedly tough game and tough match overall? Did you expect them to show up that strong?
I guess I feel a bit relieved that we managed to win. I kind of expect him to be decent. So yeah, I think the result wasn't too unexpected because it's not like we are insane, so it should be like a free win.
Okay,
But yeah, I think we managed to play well the third game at least. Yeah.
okay. So you feel like right now you're not in the best shape?
Nah, I wouldn't say so.
Okay. Why is that? Is there any specific reason or is just a global thing?
I'm not sure. I guess it's like a global thing.
Okay, okay.
Just I guess we were not doing that well in practice either, so it's not like I was,
Very confident, yeah.
extremely confident, like I don't know how Heretics is doing. Like we only played them I think one time and they were not the greatest, but I think usually they play better on stage.
Okay.
So yeah.
So just to come back a bit on the two previous splits, players tend to say that, and to come back a bit of, on your playstyle, I feel like players tend to say that Fnatic games has been too predictable in the sense that you've always oriented most of your plays towards bot lane and play very aggressively there, right? So first, is it actually a problem for you that your game plans have been so one-dimensional in a way?
I mean maybe, but I think in the first two games this series we were puffing to top, so we're actually playing
Yeah,
away.
that's true.
Maybe
Very
that's why
much
they were
so.
a bit strong, maybe a bit harder games than the third one. But yeah, I mean, I think it's always good to have more ways of playing or winning the game. So yeah, I think being one-dimensional is never a good thing. But yeah, I mean, personally, I just think it depends on the draft where you have to kind of path or play towards. So yeah, I think it can definitely be a weakness to just have one sort of style.
Is,
So yeah.
is it something like that you kind of work on during the off season or something, or wasn't that much of a topic?
I wouldn't really say so. I don't think
Okay.
we ever like talked about it more like in depth about like we should, play throughout lane as well. But like, yeah, I think mostly just depends on drafts and what we talk. Like usually we decide where we want to path or who do we want to play towards during the draft. If there's angles for top or mid, they say it. And yeah, I think me and Upset are a bit more vocal maybe about what
Mm.
we can do around our lane. So naturally the pathing or we end up getting played around. So yeah.
And also your coach after the split two, Grabs also showed up to say that there was a work ethic issue in the team. Would you say the dynamics have changed this time, like for summer?
Yeah, I think it's definitely better
Okay.
than I guess in the winter and spring. I think we could still do more, but yeah, I think it's just like as decent. I mean, usually when you make a change, it's always gonna be better at the start.
Mm.
So for now, it's better, right? We'll see if we can keep that up for the rest of the split. And yeah, then I guess we'll see about it. But honestly, it was not a very high bar we had to like reach, to make it say
Okay.
to say that we've had better work ethic than last split,
Okay.
for example.
And I feel like this off season also was kind of blur for you guys, right? Like, and especially for your top side. Do you think it might have affected the players that eventually like stayed in any way?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Um, I mean, I think for, I mean, maybe for Oscar, it impacted positively
Okay.
because he's trying a lot harder, I guess, and talks a lot more, gives more of his opinions. Um, I'm not sure if it affected even. I feel like he still plays quite similar to maybe he like tries to talk a bit more to Poby to try to get on the same page and just plays duo queue and stuff like
Yeah,
this.
especially because he's the
And
newcomer, right?
yeah, but yeah, I think besides that, I would can't really say if there was much of a difference. But yeah.
And actually, I also wanted to have your thoughts on Poby. How was his integration so far in the team?
I think it's been quite solid. His English levels were better than I expected at least,
Okay.
because like I told, he doesn't really communicate very well. Like they had to talk with a translator when they talked to him during the offseason. So I was a little bit concerned about that, but at least he's able to communicate with us, and he is also very honest, which is nice. He likes to say what is on his mind instead of just being like a bit maybe timid or shy and not voicing his thoughts. So that's nice. And just individually, he plays well, like always very solid laning. I think the only thing is maybe sometimes we have some miscommunications between each other, like
Okay.
maybe we're not on the same page as often, like during mid game and stuff. But yeah, overall, pretty solid.
And actually, is he aware that he has been kind of a meme in Europe because of Kydra's copy pastas and everything?
I'm not actually sure, but I know he knows K-Drill,
Okay.
but I don't know if he knows about the specific memes, I
Okay.
guess. I never really asked him.
Because I like the layer in the LEC, like in the LEC countdown before the games were
Yeah,
legit like all roads lead to Poby. So I was like, does he know about that? But
yeah, I guess we have to ask him.
okay, okay. And on a more serious note, like, how would you rank him right now? Like, would you say like among GLC laners, right? Because I feel like he had, as you said, a very good showing.
Okay, so I'll probably put him below Caps Vladi. Um, maybe Jackie's. I don't know about Jojo. Maybe around 4 or 5, I guess.
Okay,
But yeah, I think lane phase wise, usually he does quite well against everyone. But like if I consider the whole package, I guess
yeah.
maybe I'll put him around 4 or 5 for now.
Okay, okay. Okay, so just to close out the interview, we know that Fnatic has always been kind of a threat in regular season, but it is in playoff that you struggled the most so far, right? So what do you think like will change for Fnatic to keep up in the long run this time?
That's a good question. I don't know what we'll have to change. We will just have to be more consistent, I guess. Usually we just play worse when it comes to playoffs. Maybe that can change now that we have a sports psychologist with us. Maybe he can fix us in that regard to not have that big of a drastic difference between regular split and playoffs.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess we just have to work on our drafts and our gameplay and make sure we're actually improving if we want to, win playoffs. But yeah, it's hard to say at the moment. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Okay, okay, we'll leave it to that. Thank you very much, Mikyx. Good luck for
Thank
what's
you.
next, and hope you'll have a better result in practice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right, see ya.
See ya.